Good afternoon, this is Dr. Bones live for another edition of...
And now it's time for another episode of Blogger's Corner with Britt.
So, welcome back to the show, Britt, and we all know you're on your way to In the Men. You feeling a lot better this week?
I am, but I apologize. I know I sound congested, so
Oh, it's okay, no worries. So, we got a few things to get through today. It's pretty much our Christmas special. So, we're going to start off with a little clip here, and this is from one of my favorite recent Christmas movies. This is from Elf, so let's take a quick listen to this.
Wow! What's this?
This is the North Pole.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Where's the snow?
Why are you smiling like that?
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
Make work your favorite. That's your favorite, okay?
Okay.
Work is your favorite.
Fine.
It's time for the announcement. Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Oh, my God! Santa here? I know him. I know him.
He'll be here to take pictures with all the children.
Yeah.
Just keep your receipts. 10 a.m. tomorrow.
10 a.m. tomorrow.
Santa's coming to town.
Yes. Santa's coming. Ooh. Hi. Santa's coming.
So, a very emotional Will Ferrell as Buddy the Elf from the North Pole. And this movie is obviously become a classic. And one of the funniest things is, obviously, Will Ferrell, the joke being obviously he's 6 foot something tall with a bunch of mini elves. And they couldn't have picked a better father role for him, which was none other than Bob Newhart.
yes, oh, he's glorious.
And that killed me so much just because Bob Newhart is one of the kings of dry comedy. And it just made it so much funnier. And just seeing Will Ferrell jump around and and just pretty much be acting like a 5-year-old the entire time. And
Yes.
we're going to get to another clip of it soon, but it's pretty much... It is the spirit of Christmas and the fact that now we're trying to keep Christmas alive and kind of saying, no, there is a real Santa, even though there's all these fake Santas and all these shopping malls and that sort of thing. And the one true believer who's got to be, I think they said, over 100 years old, but it looks like he's 40-something.
Yes.
So
It's just such a clever idea. Throughout the whole thing, they just had such a clever little story going on. I just thought it was something so refreshing and original.
Well, I think I mentioned last time, too, that since Buddy is such a caring person, he figures the best way to help people out, it just spread Christmas cheer and just be nice to them. Like that one scene on the elevator with the woman, and she's in a bad mood trying to cheer up, and then she gets off still all mad, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to give you a hug," as the doors are closing.
Yes, that is such a great scene. There's so many great scenes in that movie. And him and James Caan work really well off each other too.
Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those things. That one scene in particular with the elevator, similar situation. Well, you not like the movie, but this was I don't know how many years ago, but it was my sister and myself, and again, there was a person in the elevator, and just seemed like in a real angry mood sort of thing, and we weren't really saying much, but when we were talking, he kind of looked over at us and was like, we're not exactly talking extremely loud here, and this is an elevator, it's a public place, right? And what happened is the person gets off, and then once the person gets off, my sister's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to give you a hug," and just as the doors close, the guy looks back. But it was a good time, and like I said, this movie in general, like I said, there's so many good scenes to talk about, and there's one more, and just to set the scene up for you, Santa is at this mall now where Buddy works, and is convinced it's the real Santa until he gets closer to look at him and realizes that this may not be the real Santa. So let's take a quick listen to this one.
Santa.
talking about Santa Claus.
No, you're not.
Why, of course I am.
If you're Santa, what song did I sing for you on your birthday this year?
Happy birthday, of course. How old are you, son?
4.
You're a big boy. What's your name?
4.
And what can I get you for Christmas?
Don't tell him what you want. You're a liar.
Let the kid talk.
You disgust me. How can you live with yourself?
Just cool it, Zippy.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Look, I'm not kidding.
You're a fake.
I'm a fake?
Yes.
How'd you like to be dead? Huh? No, he's kidding.
You stink.
I think you're gonna have a good Christmas, all
You
right?
smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
Okay.
So, pretty much a fraction of the store was destroyed while the fake Santa Claus was chasing Buddy around, aka Will Ferrell. And then the store manager comes in, sees destruction, and tackles the old Santa Claus, and there's a huge brawl.
That is a great scene. Like I said, so many great scenes. You know, when I was listening to that clip, something that came to my mind was that Will Ferrell has been in other movies and been really, really vulgar. But when I saw that movie Elf, I never thought about any of that once. He seems so innocent to me in this movie.
Well, no.
It proved he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, you know what? I never thought of that because you're right. Usually the characters are a lot more we'll say involved than that one in particular. And if we have time later, it was one clip I forgot to grab, but maybe a little bit later we'll pop on a song and find the clip from Step Brothers, which was another Christmas movie with Will Ferrell again, and was it John C. Reilly?
Yes.
And those two together are a riot, and just that movie alone, I think pretty much my two favorite scenes is when they get to open the one gift, and John C. Reilly gets the Hulk gloves, and Will Ferrell opens the wrong one. It's a digital camera, and just how he gets so mad, like that he didn't get these
They're
cool.
so juvenile.
Well, that's right. And then that and the sleepwalking scene is by far one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And each time I watch it, I am crying. I'm laughing so hard.
Yes, that seems to be one of those movies where people really, really love it, and then I've heard people say they didn't like it, but if you really, really loved it, you will really, really love it.
Oh yeah, it's one of those ones. You know, it's that we do watch like every Christmas because it's become a tradition with that one too because it's so funny, and it's one of those ones, like I said, that like I never get bored of. And just to stay on Will Ferrell here for one more moment before I forget, because I'm not sure if it's out today, but the new Anchorman 2 is out either today or in like a few days. And it was funny because last night at work we were talking about it, and it was funny how other people just kind of jumped in the conversation because we were talking about it, and it kind of came up randomly because we were I work at the airport, so we were on a flight delay, so we're sitting around and we're talking, and then all of a sudden I just kind of thought of it because I saw it the other day. I watched it on TV, and the scene where they're in the bear pit, and Prick, he's like, "Hey Ron, look!" He goes, "I'm riding a furry tractor," and he's on top of the bear and riding the bear. And we just started cracking up because it's one of those funny scenes you can just picture him doing it, right? And then
Yes.
the people in the seats next to us turned around and said, "Rick, where'd you get that hand grenade?" I don't know.
Now, was anyone drinking milk and said it was a bad choice?
No. It's hot. What a bad choice.
I don't know why that's still like one of my favorite things from that.
Or, of course, there's, I don't speak Spanish and English, please.
Yes. And how about when I love animals, don't get me wrong, but it was so, like, strange when he kicked with the Jack Black
yeah.
the dog. It was so random, like, you laugh. It was so wrong, but then you laugh. Just a very magical moment.
Baxter!
And that was such a cute little dog too.
You know, and it was funny because in the outtakes, obviously at the end of the movie, they showed Jack Black a few times, and he couldn't get the kick to get the dog over the railing.
Yes, I remember that. That was just as funny as the scene almost.
Yeah. So, with that being said, it was just funny. It's just one of those movies where a lot of people know, and people are more than willing to chime in because it's one of those things that nobody's going to question it. They're going to turn around and laugh, right? So.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so now we're off from Will Ferrell, and we'll move on to, let's see, maybe we'll do some National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. But before we get to that, just a quick little bit of rock news here. The nominations are out for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, and on the list are Nirvana, Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, Kiss, and the thing with Kiss, obviously we know, is they pretty much broke up, so it's Gene Simmons and a bunch of new guys, and the possibility of them playing together, playing at the ceremony, is a possibility, which Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley both said that's not out of the realm of possibility, because it wasn't really a hard feelings breakup, so there's not really a lot of bad feelings that are harbored, so there's a good chance for all you Kiss. Yeah, so it's a good thing for all you Kiss fans. I'm not a huge fan personally, but I do have to say they put on an amazing show. I saw them once, and it was a really, really good show. I mean, that's what they're all about. They're all about marketing and the live show, and there actually is something to be said for the live show. I was actually fairly impressed.
Oh, that's neat. My mom went back and she went to the original Kiss when she was a teenager, and she still has stories from it.
Well, they are definitely super cheesy, I'll tell you that. And that's and Ace Frehley, man, he's the king of cheese. Like he knows he can duke it out for kings of cheese. No, he says after one of the songs, he's like, all right, because we love you all. Because if you're good, if you're loud enough, I'll fly out to you. And now the crowd goes nuts, and the wires take him out to like the middle of the crowd. I was like, oh my god. Like, I mean, a big crowd pleaser, but super cheesy, right?
Absolutely.
So
it's entertaining.
that and the pyrotechnics and that whole thing, it was a good deal. And on top of everything else, I got my seats upgraded because I was living in Michigan at the time, and one of the local rock stations, the Riff, for a lot of concerts, what they do is if you meet they pick like the best banners and they would upgrade your tickets. So
really?
My few buddies had come up from Montreal, and big Kiss fans, and they wanted to see Kiss in Detroit Rock City, right? So, and the place they're going to, I couldn't really drop them off. It's like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this to be like rude or anything like that, but like I have to say, and I'm not sitting in the car for like 3 hours. So just buy me cheap ticket. No, I'll sit up on the lawn. I'm sure I can meet some people and have a good time. And
wow.
So they bought me the ticket. Then I told them about this thing. So we went out and bought a plain white bed sheet and spray paint, and drove 510 miles to see Kiss in Detroit Rock City, and they did all the artwork and stuff like that, and they were good enough that they upgraded all our seats. So I went from the lawn down to third row, and they went from about halfway up to right down to the third row.
Really?
So yeah, it was worth it. It was really cool, but like I said, it was like a super cheese show, but it was still still entertaining.
Yeah, wow, that is awesome.
So that's something to see, and even on TV, they're just as cheesy. So
Yes.
But
Did you watch the Gene Simmons reality show?
I didn't watch all of them, but I did watch a few of them. And yeah, he was that's the thing about Gene Simmons is he's a smart businessman. He really is.
Yeah, I really respected him after I saw the show. Just how amazing his business acumen is. Sorry, it's my asthma.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Alright, yeah, I really respected him after the show, and his family seemed really cool.
Yeah, and it was entertaining. Like I said, I didn't see all of them, but I did see quite a few of them. But that's the one thing is like, I know some of the stuff on the show is done for TV because obviously it's edited and the whole deal. But his business sense just is like that's one of the things that kind of helped Kiss make all the money. It was just all the marketing. I mean, because you can buy almost anything Kiss, right? So,
Yes.
and there's tons of stuff up there, and there's so many of them that are collector items now, and like worth a lot more. So there's plenty to be said about that. So there's that little bit of news, and I'm looking forward to see like what the final balances of who's going to actually make it in, and that sort of thing. And the other quick little thing is, guess who's defending Bieber? Usher. So Usher says, "Come on, leave Bieber alone." And even though I'm not doing the writing and stuff like that, that's not going to happen. With all the stunts he's pulled in the past little bit, there is no way he's going to get out of this very easily.
No, and I saw on E! News last night where he had skipped the press line for this new movie. It's not really a movie, it's just a concert film. And he was late to. I mean, I'm sorry. So when I think of a movie, I think of actors and people who have talent, being, working to create a story. But he made the press wait for 2 hours. He didn't show up on time, and then he skipped the whole press line. I saw his manager, Scooter Braun, out, and he's talking to reporters. They're like, "What's with Justin? Why didn't he stop talking to reporters?" He's like, "He's just such a good kid, and you have to understand, he's just such a good kid." Like, no. He's not a good kid. How do you even say that with a straight face?
Well, yeah, no kidding. That's the thing is, the manager / publicist or whatever, you are pretty much paid big bucks to pardon the phrase, but string bullshit. So.
I know. And you see his grandparents. I saw his grandparents. Like, he's just a normal boy.
Not really. I mean, no. I can remember being 18. I mean, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like the best, most well-behaved person in the world. But the same token is I didn't pull half the stuff that he did. Like, I mean, that stuff's just kind of like, especially in a restaurant. I mean, that's just gross. I mean, that's not even funny,
I know, and plus, like when you were a teenager and everyone's giving you these opportunities, where's the gratitude? Where's the thanks? And I want to be the best musician and artist for my fans. It's just he treats people with such disrespect. I really truly hope this is the end of the line for him.
Yeah, I know what I can see that happening because there's also something else in the press that. He's taking a break to develop himself as an artist, and it's like, oh, really? And then, of course, no, that's not happening. He's still going to be making records and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, you know what? No one really cares at this point anymore.
Yes, I certainly don't. And I mean, I just don't know how. If I'm not a parent, but I just couldn't. If my kid was a big fan of his, I would have to ask them why, and we would have to have, an enlightening moment about the fact I can't in good conscience spend money on this person anymore.
Well, no kidding. And it just it can go on forever. So we're done with a little you know what. So and we'll move on to just one more thing before we get back into Christmas stuff. Is there was a season finale to The Witches of East End, and what a finale it was, because in this one. Her father's still around, and of course, like I said last time, Freya is a bit more attached to her father than Ingrid is. And what happened is Killian had come over pretty much to say goodbye, and the father saw him, and you could see him like looking at him like Killian didn't see him because he was way far back, but you could see him looking at, and just seeing by that look, he knew that he knew something. And pretty much before they got married. Her father said, "Well, listen, he goes, "This is something you need to know," and he went to explain and pretty much was able to give her like a vision of it. So this is like back in, I think it was like the late 1800s, because they keep dying and being reborn again, right?
Right.
So he said that Freya was more of a bohemian lifestyle, kind of jump from place to place, didn't like got always seeking like adventure sort of thing. And she was working at this bar, and everybody liked her drinks, but they were magic drinks, but they were to help the people, And there's this person playing piano, and of course the person turns around, and it's Killian. So that's how they were dreaming about each other, and the song that Killian was playing in this vision from way back was a song that she knew, and she heard Killian play before. She's like, I know that song. Like, I've heard it before. And he's like, I wrote it. That's impossible. So there's all these things connecting them, which makes sense to the tarot card reading, saying that one's the Joker and one's the other one's going to destroy you. And pretty much saying now that Killian is the one that's going to help her, and Dash is the one that's going to destroy her if she stays with him.
Oh no!
So the wedding's off, and during this time, Athena has captured Joanna, and she injected a poison in her, the only thing that can pretty much kill Joanna. And then Wendy came down to find her, and while they were down there, what had happened in the previous episode is Ingrid was with this guy who wanted to finish his father's work and open the door to Asgard. And the snake key, which had been destroyed, he's like, there's another key, and the key is you. And she's like, well, I don't know how to do this. And so she puts her hands up on the wall, and then they flash over to Joanna and Wendy, and they pretty much kill Athena, because Athena, what had happened is both her sons had powers too, but she stole them when they were babies. So they kill Athena. What happens? Dash and Killian get their powers back.
Really?
And don't even realize it at first until later on. And then what happens with Ingrid is the door to Asgard started opening.
Interesting.
So they kind of pretty much finished on that. Now in the basement, pretty much you see the bricks start falling down as huge, like a white light beam coming through, and then one of the last scenes is you see Dash goes over to obviously beat the crap out of his brother, and he barely gets to him, and he has his hands out, he's gonna grab him, and Killian just flies. So now he kind of realizes he has powers, but is still kind of unsure of it. So next season is actually going to be really good. If they can continue on with this and do a proper job of it, then this has very good potential to keep going further.
Well, I'm excited. I love Lifetime, and I'm very happy they have a quality show.
Yeah, I normally don't watch Lifetime personally, but but the Witches show, like I had to admit I got into. So, but let's since we're way past Halloween, let's skip off the Witches, even though it is a show. And we'll get back into our Christmas movies. Next up is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is obviously a classic. And this is another one with so many scenes, and it pretty much portrays, the young family having all the relatives over and showing what a mess it can be and what can potentially happen. Of course, you kind of got the idiot cousin's brother-in-law who is not exactly the smartest guy in the world. But a lot of things happen, and they get to one scene, and Chevy Chase has just had enough, but he's still waiting to celebrate. So let's take a listen to this one.
God. Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together. This is a full-blown 4-alarm holiday emergency here. We're going to press on, and we're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's going to find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. You're goofy. Don't piss me off, Art.
Clark? It's over.
Not according to Santa's watch, it isn't. Now, come on, stay out of this, Dad.
Clark, I think it's best if everyone just goes home before things get worse.
Worse? How could they get any worse? Take a look around you, Ellen. We're at the threshold of hell.
So, a classic scene when, of course, the dog Snot has completely destroyed the dining room table and all the food because he was chasing the squirrel that was trapped in the Christmas tree that they cut down in the forest.
Yes.
And so, but that was obviously always one of my favorite scenes, just because you can sympathize with him and you can kind of understand too, because I mean, maybe not all Christmases pan out that way, but there are sometimes there are a few issues here and there, maybe not too big, but enough to be a little bit irritating, and you can feel the frustration.
Yes, because it's like there's been so much tension building up to the day, and then when it finally happens, you kind of relax a little bit. Last Christmas, one of my Christmas presents lit on fire. We had candles set up.
Oh, man.
And my present it lit on fire, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so surreal!" And of course, the whole family was, there's like a National Lampoon situation. So it was amusing. It's a fun story to tell.
I when I think about it, I can't really think of anything. Actually, you know what? Oh, maybe was it? Did I do that? Yeah. Okay. I think I was maybe 8 or 9, and I got a hamster for Christmas.
Aww.
And they handed me the cage, and I dropped the cage. The hamster was fine, like nothing happened to the hamster. I just dropped the cage, and wood chips everywhere. We're trying to get this hamster now because little things like running around. And of course my mom.
Run away?
Oh no, we got him. No, luckily we got him. No, this is a sad story, just a clumsy story where I just dropped the kid. But it was funny because, of course, my mom's freaking out because she doesn't like rats, mice, hamsters, whatever they are, whatever you want to call them. She doesn't like them. So no, she's jumping around and we're trying to get this hamster. So it was like same thing, kind of chasing it around. Luckily, it didn't get too far to be able to grab it, but yeah, it was like not the situation they were expecting. So.
Right. Yes.
But other than that, then we're going to get to another clip here, and we can all sympathize with this. Essentially, it's about Christmas shopping, and obviously there's so many people in there, and it can be so frustrating. And it's this time of year that, for some reason, people seem to lose all sense of what's happening around in their surroundings and the whole thing, because it blows my mind, and it's just one of those things that. I mean, I know we're pretty much on the last 4 days here, right? But just the amount of cars on the road, and you can't find a parking spot anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're willing to walk 5 minutes. There's still no parking in the lot. People have made up their own spots, and nobody's paying attention. Nobody is paying attention, and that's the worst part. So you really got to keep your head up and looking around, because you never know if you're gonna start driving and someone just gonna come out of nowhere and just pop you because they didn't stop at the stop sign.
Exactly. And they might have a wreath at the end of that car.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's unbelievable. The amount of people I've seen run stop signs, just not pay attention the past 3 or 4 days has just been unreal. And it's so frustrating. It's one of those things, they saw, how could you miss a big red sign that says stop?
They must have really been feeling the jingle bells.
Oh, like I said, it's just ridiculous. And that's the only thing that's really irritating is that part of it. And the busy stores I can handle, because most people, thankfully, aren't really standing in one spot. They're moving around. So, you don't as easily get trapped and trying to politely get around them. If I get fed up, kind of just kind of push them out of the way to get through.
Yes.
'Tis the season, but come on,
I agree. And the malls need to turn down the heat, because when it's Christmas time, there are a lot more people in the mall, and body heat is happening, and we don't need the heat up that high. Cause it's like an inferno in my local mall, and I think that needs to come down a few notches.
No, fair enough. No, I totally agree with that. And then, of course, you go into some stores where, finally, when you need help, they're there. And because before it's pointy, because you either can't find anyone, I can't right now because I got to do this, or and they're all willing to help. So I went in to do some shopping at this one jewelry store, and I pretty much was almost surrounded right away as soon as I walked in. hi, how are you? What are you looking for? Do you know what you're looking for? Do you want to know? It's like hi. Let's just start with that.
Yes.
And like I mean, I'm good with people, and I play it off, but it's funny sometimes, especially if the tension is kind of overbearing, meaning like they're laying it on a little thick, and you can get a little. Some people might get just a little nervous and not really paying attention to what they're saying, which is leading us up to this next clip with Chevy Chase in the mall, stopping at a lingerie store and talking to a very good-looking clerk, or we'll call her that. So let's have a listen to this one.
Can I show you something?
I was just smelling. I was just browsing.
For your wife or your girlfriend?
What? Guess wouldn't be the Christmas shopping season if the stores were any less hotter than they are. Ooh, it is warm in here.
Well, you have your coat on.
Yes. Oh, do I? How did that happen?
Because it's cold out.
Yes. It is. It's a bit nipply out. I mean nippy out. What did I say? Nipple. There is a nip in the air, though.
Can I take something out for you?
I was just looking at something for my wife. God rest her soul.
God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. She's not dead. We're just divorced. She's history. And obviously she doesn't wear underwear. And there are plenty of shopping days left until adulthood, which is to say Christmas as a Yule log. Not a log. I don't have a log, but if I had a log, not in the sense that you think I said I would. Good golly. 'Tis the season to be married.
Well, that's my name.
Oh, shit.
Now his son is spotted him looking at a piece of lingerie, and this woman pointing things out to him.
Down there?
These were cut really high in the hip. Look, I'm wearing something similar. See? Can't see the line.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
No.
At that point, he realizes that his son is right next to him.
Yes.
So, embarrassing moment, and a busted moment too.
Absolutely.
So that was one of those funny scenes, because like obviously it's one of those things, he kind of does it to himself, but just he can't help himself, and that's what makes the scene so funny. And you can picture some guys being that on edge and just saying the wrong thing like every single time, you know.
Absolutely. I witnessed it. Just like it's a cycle you just can't get out of. Quicksand. It's very awkward, but it's definitely fun to watch in movies.
Well, when I was at this jewelry place, on the other side of the counter, there were some women talking about some perfume, or like, I guess for some reason the store is giving away like a bottle of some perfume with, I don't know, however amount purchase, I'm guessing. And one of the clerks turns around to me and she goes, well, do you want perfume? I was like, well, actually, yes. I've been waiting the whole day for this one. and she looks at me and started laughing. It's like, well, that's pretty what I was going for. It's like, because I had another line to follow that if that one died, you know?
Of course.
Well, you give me an opening like that. No, it's pretty easy to come up with a few lines. No, it was either that or no. I don't know. Would it be my smell?
I know. I heard someone once say, "Do you want me to spray? Would you like to smell the perfume?" And the guy said, "No, thank you. I'll smell you later."
Oh well. But it's, you know what? At the same time too, is with stuff like that. It is a good time to people watch. So
Absolutely.
Because you're right, stuff like that happens all the time. Actually, about 3-4 years ago, I remember I was at the mall with a buddy, and we were passing, I think it was like Bath and Body Works, and we look over, this woman reached out to touch a shelf, and she hasn't even touched it, and the whole shelf just dropped and emptied.
Ooh.
But she hadn't even touched it. It just, for some reason, just came loose and just dropped. And just to look at everybody turning around, looking and seeing all these bottles like hitting the floor, all plastic, mind you, so nothing like nothing broke and made a mess. But just funny, like all these things just whipping and hitting the floor and going everywhere. It's like, oh man.
Oh man, that is rough.
Yeah,
Oh,
but at the same time too, is one of those times you kind of had to laugh. It was funny because like I said, she hadn't even touched it.
I know
So-
that is crazy. I love when, and I mean, I'm sorry, I've done it myself, but like falling in public for some reason, that's always like kind of funny.
I've done it a few times, and I've walked into a few things as well. So
Yes, I mean, one time I literally face planted. I fell right on my face, and it was so crazy because no one ever was like, "Are you okay?" And it looked really bad, and we were just like standing by there laughing. I was like, "Well, I'm happy I could amuse you."
yeah. Yeah, I actually did the same thing into a snowbank. So
Ooh,
yeah, so yeah, the snow broke my fall.
oh, cold.
But yeah, I still to this day don't know how it happened. This is when I was living in Montreal. We're in the city bus and getting out the back door. My feet got stuck, but the rest of my body went out and went face first into a snowbank.
Ooh, did you get like really wet afterwards?
Oh, I was very awake afterwards, but yeah. But my jacket stuff was pretty soaked. So
Yeah, that's always we had the biggest snow. It's been 10 years ago where I live, and when it did snow, we made a ramp. We were able to carve out a ramp so that we could sled down our backyard, and I loved it. But what happened is at the end, you'd always end up in the snow, and it just got so cold. I got so cold. It wasn't. It looked so much more fun than it actually ended up being.
You still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I know. I wasn't sure because like there was like dead silence for a second. I wasn't sure if you were done laughing.
No, I was laughing, but it was like hurting my head. So
Oh,
I was
okay,
like,
gotcha. Fair enough. All right. We got a few more things to get to today, and we definitely have time for this one. This is early '90s, and this is Steve Martin on Saturday Night Live on one of their Christmas Past shows, and the sketch is called "One Wish."
I have one wish, like Christmas holidays. It would be that all the children of the world.
Okay, you know what? Never mind. We'll have to skip that just because the audio didn't come out as well as I'd hoped. So let's try one more, and if it doesn't work, it's all right. We can talk about them still. Not a problem. That one worked. That was another SNL Christmas Past, and that was Tarzan, Tonto, and Frankenstein singing "Away in a Manger," which they used to do quite often. And the actors doing that were Phil Hartman, Kevin Nealon, and John Lovitz, and it was always pretty funny. The last one, I will post a video for you guys because it's one of those ones you have to watch. It's actually very, very funny, and sucks the audio didn't come out the way I hoped, but you know what? It's all right. I'll post a video and you can watch it later and you can still enjoy it, so no issues there. And I think we talked briefly about this last time. We talked about the lost ending to It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
So that one I searched and searched and searched, and finally I had to pretty much find like the entire show, which was fine. I mean, I watched it anyways because it was funny, but I couldn't find just that single little clip of it, and I was kind of surprised because it's one of those things that you think would be all over, but it's one of those things again that you'll have to watch because it's pretty funny. And this is Midnight's again, so John Lovitz, Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, Victoria Jackson, a lot of funny people, and a very good sketch because it turns out that Mr. Potter was never a cripple. So, very end, obviously, when they're singing the song, now they're singing the song and they're beating the crap out of Mr. Potter. So, it was kind of funny. And of course, introducing that scene of Lost Ending was none other than James T. Kirk. Yeah, so obviously aka William Shatner, and it was pretty funny. So there's a lot of the older ones are a lot funnier than the new ones they've put out, unfortunately, but they're still classics. So still be sure to check that out. Now, Britt, what blogs have you been working on this week?
This week I did a Christmas made-for-TV movie list. So there have been so many recently, like with Hallmark and Lifetime and ABC Family getting into it. And so I narrowed down some nostalgic quality made-for-TV movies for everybody. And, you know, put about, there are a few, like, ones from the 90s that I loved. Like the one, sorry, hold on a minute, I got a cough. Anyway, I apologize. Okay. And so that was very fun, and you know, I hope to get a theatrical Christmas list up some point this weekend or something. I just fell behind on things. And then the other things were some mid-season reviews because a lot of the shows are on hiatus until January. So we got The Vampire Diaries, Revenge, and there was something else, and I'm sure I'm spacing on it. That the shows, you know, Revenge was better than Vampire Diaries, but, you know, they're still a little bit on the struggle bus, but it's okay. But yeah, so hopefully I have more next week. I just, you know, the sickness messed things up, so it's been my Scrooge.
Yet actually another good movie, Scrooge, with Bill Murray.
Yes, I love Bill Murray.
I know I actually forgotten about that one, but yeah, it's one I'm probably going to have to pop on soon. But other than that, that is going to wrap up our Christmas special, and it's been a lot of fun because there's been a lot of good movies to talk about and a lot of funny scenes, and we got most of the clips we wanted, and some of the ones that we didn't, I will grab off YouTube and post a link for you guys so you can watch them. And until next week, everybody have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll be back on next Friday. So, Britt, once again, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And,
thanks for having me.
And we'll continue on next Friday and see. We'll probably detour a lot and maybe talk about some upcoming movies, that sort of thing, since obviously the TV shows are on hiatus right now. So there'll be other stuff, some interesting stuff I'm sure that'll pop up in the news we can talk about as well. And we're going to keep this thing moving and enjoy ourselves. So until next time, from Blogger's Corner, from myself and Britt, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday, and we'll talk to you after Christmas. All right, until then, Bones out.